Style for Life. I'm Stephanie Rumble, fashion stylist, accountability coach, and your guide to feeling good in your body and your clothes. Based in Christchurch, New Zealand, I bring over 3 decades of experience in fashion, fitness, and wellness to help you feel strong, stylish, and self-assured. Together we'll explore the emotional, physical, and practical sides of style, because true confidence starts from within. No matter your age or size, you deserve to feel confident and show up as the best version of you. I truly believe this. This is Style for Life. Morena, everybody, and welcome back to the Style for Life podcast this morning. I'm very, very excited to be welcoming our fantastic guest today, Suli, and we're going to have a talanoa today and hear all about Suli's life. He's one of my lovely friends who has been teaching group fitness classes for Les Mills almost as long as me, and I am definitely a veteran in this area, so I am very, very excited to have Suli on the show today. So without any further ado, Suli, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Steph, for the opportunity to be here today at Bright Ridge Studio. My name is Vui Suli Tutaupe. I was born and raised here in Otutahi. I am a group fitness instructor. Like Steph, we started when we were 5 years old. And so my journey as a group fitness instructor started off in YMCA. And I taught circuits there. Then I went to Olympus Health and Fitness and also taught boxing circuits. Across the road from where Olympus was in Hereford Street was this big gym called Les Mills. And I'd always look at them and think, wow, look at them with their spandex and their leg warmers. And there were so many of them.
Yeah.
And we used to have 3 or 4 in the class, and that was a great class.
Yeah.
So the journey to Les Mills started when they held a group fitness academy, and then jumped on board and been there ever since. Out of fitness, I am a registered nurse. I've been doing that for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And that has also been very humbling. So I started off in 24 hours as my transitional placement, and then went into general practice in Aranui. So I worked with very marginalised, vulnerable communities, and I learned so much to the point that it's probably allowed me to move into those spaces a little bit more now. So I currently do 1 day a week for an organisation called Te Waitanga. They're a Māori health organisation, and we run a clinic at Eastgate Mall on a Monday.
Yes.
And so we offer health checks, immunisations, advice, advocacy for anyone in the community that comes along in regards to them navigating the health system, both the community, primary, secondary and tertiary system.
Yeah, and so just for context for our listeners, Aranui in Christchurch is a more low socioeconomic, that would be a way to describe, yes?
Yes, so it's on the eastern suburbs, so it's had a lot going on with the earthquakes, a lot of displacement, but it's thriving in its own little world, and they do things very well there. There is a netball tournament that actually starts today for the next 8 weeks at their local high school, which is Hayata Community College, which we are, and that's, I guess, the other part of Suli, our Pacific Rainbow organisation, Moana Va, is a part of. So that kicks off tonight. So yeah, within its own communities, you find a lot of gems and places of joy, but then you also are grounded by the realities of those that don't have resources or the supports that you have as an individual or as a family.
Yeah, and you've got such an interesting, diverse range of skills, Suli, which is potentially why we both relate, as we both have quite a lot of things that are going on in our lives. Just a little bit more. Let's hear a little bit more about the group fitness journey, and I really, really want to hear, obviously, about the community health journey as well. But just in terms of the group fitness, so you joined Les Mills. Do you remember the actual year that you joined Les Mills? What the date, the day, or the year was?
So there was a group fitness academy in 2001, and so I joined it then. My first class was body gym on a Monday night.
Do you still teach body jam?
So my first module was body gym and body combat. And back then they were, as you would know, they were very popular
Yes.
around the motu. And so there was instructors lined up for both programs. And so the group fitness manager at the time, Nick
Right.
had said, you won't get a class if you are going to hang out for these two particular programs. So maybe you need to look at other programs like Body Circuit. So my journey within Les Mills started with Body Circuit and Body Pump. Took 3 years to get a body pump class, but I was very consistent in team teaching as many classes as I could because I was working in the airlines as a flight attendant at the time.
That's right. You were
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
So hosty with the mosty or coffee tea or me or airbag, I'm not sure what the terminology is now,
Yeah.
but I did that for a wee while. And so I would do a lot of team teaching so that I could do the flying as well, and did that
Yeah.
right up to about 2010 when I did the whole going over to the Middle East.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
went, because the thing with Suli that probably you guys don't know is he's like been an international presenter for Les Mills, and you really worked your way right to the top with Les Mills. So, which is for some people who don't know, Les Mills instructors, there can be grassroots instructors who stay in the gyms, and there's instructors who present at regional workshops, then there's another level that presents on videos, then you can go internationally and present internationally. So how did your journey go? Obviously it was a slow start. You waited 3 years to get a class, which we do have to do. Even really good instructors have to wait a bit of time. That's just how it works. We've got to wait till someone leaves or someone becomes available, etc. But then you moved quite quickly up the ranks. So how did that work for you?
So you're absolutely right. Patience is a virtue, right? And if you're really passionate about something and you really want to succeed in what you do, sometimes it's just that waiting game and then the opportunities start to flow. And I've seen that in cycles where we've had an oversupply of instructors to, oh no, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
We've got all these classes to cover. So there was a point in time where I manipulated the timetable, our flying timetable. So I would do duties that would come back on a Friday afternoon so I could teach my Friday night pump. And then I would teach a vibe and a body attack on a Saturday morning, and then I'd fly off again. And then I was back by Tuesday to teach my body attack pump RPM. And so it kind of became this whole living for the gym because I really started to get a little bit obsessed with
Yeah.
teaching in front of crowds. And so I guess that allowed me to then have permanent time slots.
Yes.
And the opportunity came in 2009. Before going to the Middle East, I had been given an opportunity to go to London to work with Air New Zealand long haul. And just as I was about to accept the contract, there was a job in the Middle East for their presenting team and also to do some personal training in Kuwait.
Wow.
And so Suli was thinking, okay, I've been to London before. I did my Kontiki a few years prior. Would I ever go to the Middle East if I don't have this opportunity and see around the region? potentially not. So good old Suli decided to go to Kuwait, where I was based, and then I would do some workshops for Les Mills Middle East at the time, and they were based in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi. So I had the amazing opportunity to go around places that I'd never heard of before, and also see a different perspective, which was such an eye-opening experience, but also allowed me to pursue some of those values where in some of the Arab states, family is really important. Yeah. And that's very similar to us here. And so I guess the alignment in terms of cultures was important, and really enjoyed the experiences of discovery and learning different cultures and learning how systems work.
Yes.
And
and
did that for a few years.
And then you came back to New Zealand, obviously, and then you were like, okay, I'm back in New Zealand. I'm coming back to New Zealand now. I think I might lead to, I've left flying behind. So I've been working in the fitness industry, but obviously then you decided to retrain as a nurse.
Yeah. So prior to that, whilst I was in the Middle East, I thought, look, I need to come back and do some study. I started some university papers when I finished high school. And at the time, I just wasn't for me. I left uni after a couple of years, failed miserably. But in the back of my mind, I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get a degree. So that's what I did. I came back and did a health sciences degree focused on physical activity promotion and on public health, with the intention of going back to the Middle East.
Okay.
So I completed that. And then this nursing pathway, 2-year nursing pathway came through. And I thought, okay, well, I might actually delve into illness cure, because I do have the illness prevention,
yes,
health promotion, health education kind of sorted. And let's delve into that area just to get the full circle. So not only just focusing on the biomedical,
yes,
but also on the prevention and how can we marry that together.
So you've been quite involved in advocating for, promoting and being involved in Māori and Pacifica health, haven't you? So I've seen, I see you active on social media and you put up pictures of classes and all sorts of things that you're organising in that community space. So tell us a little bit more about where that's come from and, how you've made that happen.
I think being in the gym or the group fitness environment has given us the avenue to say, hey, this works. Physical activity works. Why don't we focus on building the fence on the top of the cliff rather than being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff? Why don't we put all our energies into illness prevention rather than illness cure?
Agree with you.
So,
yeah.
And so coming from that, I guess, value, just giving me that spirit of intention to keep people moving, because I know that physical activity has so many benefits. Not only physically, we look at the whole holistic model, mentally, connectivity, and it's just so easy to do if you have the right tools and also the right supports in place. So I guess that's where I found that my strength was in physical activity, but also having some of that public health knowledge, the importance of doing things together.
Yes.
So when I did my health science degree, I also discovered the inequities. I knew that our Māori populations and our Pacific populations still die 8 years younger than our non-Māori, non-Pacific.
Yes.
And for someone like myself that grew up with a single mum, my mum, who I absolutely love and adore, who worked 2-3 jobs just to get us through some of the best schools in Christchurch, I knew that this was my gift to give, and that it's
so good
just to be able to work with those that potentially just needs that extra support, needs that little bit more advocacy and knowledge so that they can be their best version.
So when you're working with these populations, what are the kind of supports that they might need over and above what someone who just shows up to do body pump or the trip, who's quite self-motivated, comes to the gym, pays their membership? What do these people need to be able to be physically active?
Yeah, I think the two biggest key things here is that relationship building. So they need to know if you are legit, if that you are there for the right reasons, and that you come with knowledge and understanding, but also empathy as well. I think they have the key characteristics, but you've got to have those relationships built up. And I've been very lucky that working in a community like Aranui, but then also working within Pacific community, so through churches was really important, through sports clubs. So in areas where the communities are affiliated, the biggest thing is to ensure that you build that relationship. And that analogy that I use is that 7 cups of tea or that 7 cups of koko to be able to build the relationship. So understanding that when you meet someone for the first time, that you are inviting them into your world, but they are also inviting you into their world. So also being a little bit vulnerable in terms of sharing yourself to ensure that they feel comfortable. And it's taken me a few years and grey hairs to understand that, and really seeing the importance of relationship building on a grassroots in the gym environment, in any environment, is so crucial in terms of working with various communities.
Have you found that some of your community groups have transitioned into coming to the gym, to your classes as well? So you've found that you've had them and you've gone to the sports club or to the church or wherever you've pulled them together in a group, and then they've gone, oh, you know what, I think I might go to Suli's class at the gym. Have you found that's happened as well?
Yeah, so it has come through. They've come through to Les Mills. They've had the confidence to go to other places of physical activity, environments that work for them. And that's awesome. I think that's the key focus. And then when they see not only the physical, physical change, which is, sometimes that first priority, but then also acknowledging, man, I feel better.
Yeah,
I can
so
feel,
get that.
that's the clarity of my mind. Now I'm going to focus on better sleep. Now I'm going to look at trying to eat better or eat well at different times of the day. So then people start to understand how their body works and their body types and why is everyone so different. So it's really great to see progress. I still believe that there is space for us as health educators, as promoters, as physical activity experts like yourself and many others, to be able to use these opportunities rather than the cure stage.
I so agree with you. I mean, it's totally my life's work as well. So I fully and utterly relate to you on every level. I just think it's, what you're doing is really great because you're working with vulnerable communities, right? Or vulnerable groups, which wouldn't necessarily have the same support or input that they have because of your skill sets, your dual skill sets in health and in fitness, which marry really nicely together. So really, really great work. So just at the moment, if somebody wanted to join or be part of that was maybe listening or watching this, and they went, oh, okay, right, I'm part of Pacifica group or Māori group, and I just don't feel like I want to go to Les Mills or one of those other gyms. If they wanted to get involved, how would they do that, Suli? Maybe in the Christchurch area, obviously, because we're in Christchurch. Yeah.
So I choreograph a dance program called Moana Vibes, and you don't have to be Pacific or Māori or rainbow. We say all flavors welcome, yeah?
Right.
So regardless of your age, ability, everyone is included. So we have been running monthly events.
Yes.
So we've just finished a event at Te Pou Toitoi, which is Linwood Pools, over September. I filmed some YouTube clips that will be going on our Moana Va website. So we'll talk a little bit more about who is and what is Moana Va. Yes. But it is currently being made to go online, so we have access. And I think that's the biggest thing, is to break down those barriers to access.
You please send me the link and I'll put it in the show notes.
Absolutely.
So we can promote that for you. So Moana Vibes. So if I was to come to a Moana Vibes class, is what it's called, yes, what would I be doing? Would I be, just so that people get it?
Shaking your hips and your lips. So
There we go. So there's a bit of singing involved as well.
there's a little bit of singing, but there's a lot of fun. It's moving without the feeling of exercise is what I've been told. So
Nice.
and that's part of the parcel of why I love doing what I do. So if we talk a little bit about Moana Vibes, it's part of a collective of health and wellbeing initiatives that we do at Moana Va. So we've got a 6-week yoga program coming up. We have had Wellness Weddle, so our beautiful Jessie James, who is a New Zealand award-winning personal trainer, runs that. We have a whole lot of initiatives throughout the year to enhance well-being and also to ensure that we stay connected and feel healthy.
So that's awesome. So that's called Moana Va, yes?
Yeah, so Moana Va is the collective.
Collective.
Moana Vibes, so it's called Moana Malia, so it's being happy in the ocean. And so we have different aspects. We've got our swimming coming up. We know for Pacific, even though we are in the Moana in the ocean, a lot of us don't know how to swim. So it's getting little initiatives like that to enable our mainly older individuals to swim in the water, because I know our young ones, like my 8-year-old nephew, is just going hard in the pools. But when his mother and father sees him go, it's just, I guess for them it's like, oh, we should really be able to learn how to swim well and enjoy those times in the water.
Some of the programs, like particularly the Moana Vibes, is being filmed and it will go on YouTube, and you can actually just sign in and do that in your living room if you wanted to.
In your living room, in your bedroom, in your workplace.
Wherever.
All flavours. Our slogan is all flavours are welcome. So
which I really love. So you this is just an initiative in Christchurch at the moment, or is it nationwide?
So Moana Va is a Pacific Rainbow organisation. So we turned 3 years old in February.
Oh.
And we were one of 4 Pacific Rainbow organisations around the country. So one was in Manukau in Auckland.
Yes.
There was one in Porirua, that was Pacific Māori. One in Hastings, and us in Canterbury. Times are a little bit tough at the moment, so there's only just the 2 now that's functioning. So nevertheless, which is based in good old Hastings, and us here in Otatahi, Waitaha, Canterbury. So I think it's just awesome to have an organisation that is an alternative. Does mean that there's options for our various communities, and we do use the slogan, all flavours are welcome. So it is for individuals that are part of our rainbow communities.
It's good. Yeah.
And their families. So we're massive on families and allyship, because they're also part of the journey as well.
Yeah, so that's really great. So what I'm hearing is it's for anybody, like you say, all flavours welcome. And sometimes people who are, coming into the rainbow community feel like there's not places for them to go where they feel accepted and not judged. So this is another opportunity for them to be involved in fitness and health promotion. That is correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, and for me it was growing up here in Canterbury, just not being able to find a place where I could be myself, and found that the mainstream queer organisations at the time didn't really cater to my needs. I didn't have any role models, and I did have a religious upbringing, and so it was important for Big Suli to ensure that the little Sulis growing up have a place where that they can have that sense of belonging and thrive in. in saying that we have a great relationships with our rainbow organizations here regionally, and I think that's really important to have that power of collaboration so that if there's an individual that does come to an organization and they feel that it's probably not for them, we can say, okay, well, have you tried this one, try that one, because it's important to, again, enhance our communities. We know too that our rainbow is, in particularly our trans communities, have the worst health statistics.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So we need to ensure that they are uplifted in any shape and form that we possibly can.
Just as a question on that, like, why do you think that is? Why do our trans communities have really bad health outcomes? What's happening there for them that causes that, do you think, Suli?
Yeah, I guess for themselves, and having to navigate both themselves as an individual and then having to navigate the healthcare, which isn't readily available. I have to say, probably in the last year or so, it's the healthcare available is starting to be erased a little bit due to so much backlash out there. And I just wish people would be kind and accept individuals for who they are. You know, you just do you and treat others with respect and dignity in the way that you want to be treated, rather than upholding a view that that you may not necessarily agree with, but we're all human and we just want to be at the end of the day.
I so agree with you. And I think having been like you in fitness for pretty much all my life, been in more than I haven't now because I'm quite old, both of us. No, I'm older than you. I'm older than you. I think being in fitness really promotes inclusivity, because you can't be a group fitness instructor for a long period of time or even work in any aspect of fitness, whatever it is, without having an inclusive mindset. For you and I, it probably just feels so foreign to find that there's people who are not being included. So I really love that you've got this opportunity for them. You know, all people, like you said, all flavours welcome to come along and be involved in fitness and in some capacity to actually be involved, potentially going into gyms in the future if that's what they feel comfortable with. So I think, and hearing that the health outcomes for them makes me feel really sad as well. And I understand too that there will be mental health challenges, significant mental health challenges in that area too. And we both know that actual physical health or physical fitness helps improve our mental health. So, you know, you're working in the physical health area, but I'm sure this translation and results you've seen and improved mental health across all of your communities. Would that be right?
Yeah, it was. It's everything is connected, right? It's that holistic well-being, and I love the models at the moment that promote that. So there is Messengeries, Te Whare Tapa Whā,
Yes.
which is absolutely 100% amazing. And similar to that is the Whānau Whale model, which is a Pacific model from Fuimono Dr. Kaupolotu Inema. So he is also our mātua or advisor for Moana Va. And interesting story, but they both created the same models together, side by side,
Really?
in the 1980s in good old Barmy Palmy.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still very relevant today.
Yeah.
What I love about the Whānau Whale model is it also looks at the context and the environment, and also the time, the concept of time in what we do. So it all interconnects is really important. And when one part of that puzzle or post or pole falls, then the rest of the house or the whare or the whale falls over.
Yes.
Unfortunately for our trans communities in particular, and also I say our disability communities, it's that whole respect and dignity is so important.
Yeah, and look, just another question. So right now you work as a community health nurse, is that correct?
So I do that 1 day a week.
1 day a week, yeah.
1 day a week. I am also studying towards my doctorate in health.
That's why. How did we leave that till 20 to 30 minutes into the discussion? You're doing a PhD. Oh my goodness, Suli. How far in are you and what are you studying?
So I'm looking at the perception of health and well-being. How about that, right? Understanding our community's views of health and how it differentiates from health professionals. My take home was I wanted to save the world, but that would mean my PhD would take a whole century and a half. So like anything in the PhD world, you have to narrow it down and narrow it down. So I said, okay, what about Pacific? No, narrow it. Pacific in New Zealand? No, narrow it. Pacific in Canterbury? No. So now, and I totally understand why, I'm looking at Samoans in Canterbury, in the Waitaha region.
Nice.
And so it is a steady race. I'm looking at handing in my thesis, all goes well, in July 2027.
Awesome.
And I've just finished the analysis. It's been a long haul, but so I do a bit of teaching classes at Les Mills, Moana Vibes, my study, a little bit of nursing. Moana Va takes a bit of time, but most of my time is spent looking after my mum and my auntie. So they live with me now, and it's just a real honour and privilege to look after my auntie who's on a dementia pathway, and then my mum who's the most stoic 81-year-old Samoan lady in the world who's lived life to the fullest. I'm sure she's got 15 lives and continues to thrive in her own way.
And so your mother is Samoan, your father was Samoan as well. So you were born in Aotahi in Christchurch. Yes. And you have quite a connection to Samoa. You travel backwards and forwards a bit, I see. Yes. And that's to connect with your whānau in Samoa?
Yeah. So mum came over in the 1960s. So she's lived most of her life here. And my dad, even though they weren't together, he came in the first wave of Samoans into Canterbury in the 50s. So there is still that affiliation with home. So mum was number 10 of 13 kids. So 10, 11, 12, 13 came in the 60s to help support parents and 1 to 9, and has made Aotearoa her home for 3/4 of her life. And so going home quite often to catch up with aunties, uncles and cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And very blessed in 2022 to take my mum's chief title. So you'll see that my name is Vui, V-U-I. And so mum in the 1990s was the first female chief that's based here in Christchurch, maybe in the country. And so it was just a real honour and pleasure to take her name a few years ago. And I'm really excited to be going back to Samoa to do a presentation at the National University of Samoa based on my studies. So that's coming up very soon.
Suli, you're such an inspiration. So just to clarify for our listeners, the Vui, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Vui means chief.
So it's a chiefly title, and I say it's a title that means to serve. You know, we're here to serve our communities, and the second part is to serve your church. And for me, my church is my rainbow whānau. My church is the vulnerable communities. I have a spiritual connection, and so that spiritual connection is with the different groups that I affiliate with.
And what an inspiration you are. You know, I feel emotional hearing your story because, you know, you're not a traditional chief in the context of, you know, what you've explained. You know, your mother was, and you've had that title passed down, and, you know, you as you said, you relate to the rainbow community and to the vulnerable communities as well. So, you know, what a service you are. And I know this from being in your classes, from knowing you for the time I have known you, that you really are of service to people. You express so much generosity and kindness and really acknowledge other people and their contribution to your process as well. So, I really appreciate that about you. And I think, gosh, you are going to make a difference. I know you want to change the world, and I know it's frustrating that you can't change everything, because I feel like that too. But if we can help 1 or 2 or 3 people at a time in the work that we do and the work that you do, I think you are making a huge difference. Even what I see of you, which is small compared to most, I can see the difference you've made. I was like, oh, I'm so glad Suli's agreed to be interviewed on my podcast, because I'm sure many people will be inspired. And also, those who are listening who maybe do identify with some of the communities we've talked about now will have a pathway, hopefully, that they can get involved in and love fitness and activity like you and I do, and see how transformative it is in our lives.
You're absolutely right. It's such a key component to be able to thrive. And nothing beats that collective goal of doing physical activity together. And it's never too late. I say that with hand on heart. So
yeah, I agree.
My mum was in a sedentary job for such a long time, and then in her retiree years decided to come to the gym, and she had done that for quite a long time until getting a wee pacemaker. So now she does my community classes and then runs around our nieces and nephews. So it's never
81.
too late.
She's 81, listeners. It's never too late. I agree with Suli, and like all the research shows us that even if you think you're too old or too whatever, you're not. It's never too late to start. So look, Suli, we talked in our email exchange. We both said we're talkers, and we are. I think we could keep talking. And I try and keep my podcast to 30 minutes, but this one is going to be 40, because this has been a really great conversation. I have one more question for you. I just want to know who has been one of your greatest influences across your life journey so far?
I have to say my mum, because she is the most outgoing person in the world. Mum is a smoker. They had a tobacco farm in Samoa. So from the age 13, she started smoking, and as a nurse, I've tried so much to work through enabling her to, I guess, give up the habit, but it's been hard for her. But what I see with my mum is the different individuals that she meets when she goes outside, different buildings, and connects with. And she will connect with a teenager right through to someone that's seen as probably, ew, it's a smoker. And so what I've learned from my mum is that you just don't judge. You don't judge. And you don't know what happens in someone's day. So you take it at face value, and sometimes people's frowns are upside down. So your job, sometimes people have frowns. Your job as a group fitness instructor, leading communities, as a nurse, as a health educator, health promoter, is to turn that frown upside down.
I love it. And I'm going to leave our audience on that, because I want you to all think about that, turning your frown upside down, and both of us can help you with that. So Suli, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know you've taught 2 group fitness classes already this morning, and he's still smiling. Look at that. So, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and energy you've taken to sit and talk with me today. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming on and talking. And for everyone listening, thank you very much for listening. If you want to find out more about what Suli's initiatives are, I'm going to put some links in the show notes for you so that you guys can see that. And thank you all for listening to the podcast. If you want to find me, you can find me on Bright Red NZ on Instagram and Facebook. And Suli, if people want to find you on any social platforms, how would they find you?
You can find me on Insta and Facebook, maybe TikTok. Oh my gosh. And LinkedIn even.
We both have to get good at that. So kia ora everybody. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you so much, Suli.
Ngā mihi nui.
Thank you for listening to the Style for Life podcast. Don't forget, you deserve to feel fabulous at every age, every stage, and at every size. If you're loving the show, hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps more amazing people like you find their way back to life through style. Thanks again. Until next time.